I wanted to share this story with you. I've read a lot about it. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but there are a couple things that we do know. We do know that cops lie. We know from investigative reports of the past that cops are trained to lie. So when they speak, there's a good reason not to believe them. On the other side of it, there are people who are protesting what is known as Cop City in Atlanta, Georgia. And while I'm not with what these guys do, as a whole, or what they believe or their ideology, I would definitely stand with them against Cop City. I don't see how training a militarized police force on American soil can be seen as anything other than a standing army. So I'm looking at this as a standing army. So I would be with Manuel Tehran, who was killed by Georgia troopers defending and protesting against Cop City. But I want you to listen to this news report, and then we're going to look at a piece of what looks like evidence that the cops may be lying. Go figure.
Charge is expected in the death of a man protesting construction of Atlanta's public safety training center. I'm Sean Gables.
Notice what they called it. Cop City is called the Public Safety Training Center. Public safety will always be the alibi and the excuse of tyrants. They will use that as justification to take away more of our rights and be used as basically code enforcers so that they can secure more money for the state.
I'm Alan Devlin. A special prosecutor's report says Georgia State Patrol troopers who shot and killed Manuel Tehran were justified in their use of deadly force.
January's deadly shooting sparked disruptive protests and a movement. Atlanta News 4's Zach Summers live tonight at the site of the planned training center.
The report includes information we've never heard before, including accounts that Tehran used some kind of explosive before the deadly shooting.
Yeah, two of the state troopers involved, at least two, told investigators they thought Manuel Tehran deployed an improvised explosive device after they say Tehran started shooting at them here at the site of the future Public Safety Training Center, a special
Public Safety Training Center. There's the land right there for Cop City. So they said that he deployed a device, an explosive device, and that's what the two troopers told investigators for GBI. Do you really believe him? I'm not inclined to.
Prosecutor concluded Tehran refused to comply with troopers, resulting in the activist's death. In body cam video provided by Atlanta police.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Christopher says in the room, he says protesters are being charged as terrorists and charged with RICO statutes. They are indeed. Yep.
You hear 4 shots, a pause, then a barrage of gunfire. A special prosecutor used the video and others, along with forensic lab reports, personnel files, and witness interviews to conclude 6 state troopers who were not wearing body cameras were justified in the January 18th killing of Manuel Tehran.
Maybe they were wearing body cameras. Maybe they took them off. Maybe they lost them. Maybe they destroyed them. We don't know. Did you see the picture of these cops right here? Just smiling. This is after somebody was brutally murdered. 57 times he was hit by Georgia police gunfire. 57 times.
Witness interviews to conclude 6 state troopers who were not wearing body cameras were justified in the January 18th killing of Manuel Tehran.
The fact that there is no videotape evidence means that we really only have the story of the police.
According to the special prosecutor's report, as officers were trying to clear the site, dubbed Cop City by protesters, they found Tehran in a tent. When Tehran wouldn't come out, troopers fired a pepper ball into the tent. They say Tehran immediately started shooting, firing 4 shots. The troopers shot back, killing the 26-year-old.
Now keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. They said, first of all, the two Georgia troopers told investigators that he deployed some kind of explosive device, and then he shot at them 4 times. So basically, we were just defending ourselves, says the cops. Is that true? There's some forensic evidence that indicates that what the cops are saying is absolutely not true.
Tehran was shot 57 times. The special prosecutor concluded the troopers' use of deadly force was objectively reasonable and that there was no criminal intent. Kamal Franklin, an organizer with Stop Cop City, called the prosecutor's findings a continued miscarriage of justice.
This fight is not over. This fight is partly now in the name of Tehran.
Tehran's family and their attorneys now demanding the GBI release all underlying evidence so they can conduct their own investigation. Their mother saying, quote, "We have waited 8 months for the truth. We are in pain. We want to hear the interviews. We want our experts to review the lab tests."
And this is why you always record police. This is why you want to push for those body cams, those 360 cams that are on and they can't turn them off. They can't disable the mic. We need to see exactly what they're doing at all times, because if we don't, then we're stuck with just believing their word. And they've already told us, hey, we can lie to you. We can engage in deceptive practices so we can get the information from you that we want so that we can create another victim.
We want our questions answered. This report does not answer our questions. And a spokesperson for the GBI told me they are not releasing the investigative file right now because the findings are part of a pending criminal investigation and RICO prosecution by the state attorney general.
Unbelievable.
So unincorporated DeKalb County, Zach Summers.
RICO prosecution on people who are just protesting the construction of Cop City, a militarized training center where they can actually create troops, standing armies on American soil to go against and attack freedoms and possibly economically terrorize people. But if you notice that all the news is doing is regurgitating what the cops have told them, and they didn't even talk about what the DeKalb County medical examiner uncovered. This is another situation where, probably the biggest story is the story that's being suppressed. In April, the DeKalb County medical examiner wrote that in their examination of Tehran's body, quote, gunpowder residue is not seen on the hands. So an independent medical examiner examines Tehran's body, examines his hands, and does not find gunpowder residue on his hands. What does that story tell you? Well, it conflicts with the story of the Georgia troopers who are actually the ones pulling the trigger. So now we've got two different stories. We've got the trooper saying he did pull the trigger at least 4 times, and we've got the medical examiner saying, no, he didn't, because if he did, there would be gunpowder residue on his hands. What did GBI do? They quickly jumped in to cast doubt in the DeKalb County examiner's report. Of course they would, because what do they have to do? They're there to defend and protect not the Constitution of the United States, not your freedom, not your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and the security of your property. They're there to defend the soldiers in the thin blue line. So they quickly jump in to cast doubt on the DeKalb medical examiner's report, insisting that Tehran's corpse did in fact contain, quote, the presence of particles characteristic with gunshot primer residue was on Tehran's corpse. This is the actual medical examiner's report. This is 34 pages of detailed description of what they actually found when they performed the autopsy. So getting back to this, while admitting the kind of residue they alleged was found in the body was often present on victims of gunshot wounds. So what they're saying is the gunshot residue was on his hands because he fired the weapon. But it's possible that if there was residue on his hands, which the DeKalb County medical examiner already said it was not seen on his hands, but if it was, it can be there because you were a victim of being a gunshot victim and not somebody who was actually shooting a gun. But the bottom line is the medical examiner, the DeKalb County medical examiner, said it wasn't on his hands. So if it wasn't on his hands, then he didn't fire the weapon, because if he did, it would be on his hands, which means that story is different from the story from the Georgia troopers. So which story are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the DeKalb County medical examiner's side of the story, where he actually conducted an objective scientific test through an autopsy? Or are you going to trust the Georgia troopers, who could be implicated in a serious crime here, and they would have every reason to lie to you about hearing gunshots coming out of the tent and the detonation of some kind of explosive device? Who are you going to believe? What I'll do is I'll leave the link to these articles and the medical examiner's report. And let me just warn you, if you go over this medical examiner's report, it gets very, very detailed about what they found, how many bullets went into the body, entrances and exit wounds and all that. So if you are going to take a look at this medical examiner's report, just beware. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. I will see you in the next video.